What's going on, guys? Tactical Trash Panda again. And as you can see on the tabletop, there's a box from MGB, the one and only marine gun builder. Guys, if you don't know, MGB has a shop, and if you want to purchase parts off of it, go ahead and use code AngrySarge. It'll save you a little something here and there. But let's open up the box and see what comes in it and what I ordered. Here you can see all of MGB's codes for his affiliated websites. Right there. And if you don't know, I am part of Freedom Crew University. Go check us out. You know, most of the stuff right here that we would like to share, we can't share on YouTube. So if you want to learn how to build like a first time quality, that's the place to go. Become part of the community. Ah, nice little handwritten note from brother MGB. I appreciate that. I'm gonna keep this. That's a souvenir. Let's see. All right, as you guys may know, I just recently acquired a slide from Marconi Armory. Big shout out to Angry Sarge, because Marconi was gonna send this to me to test out, but Sarge said no, Panda needs a Marconi slide. And he actually paid for this. It was a gift for me, so Sarge, I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for the early Christmas gift. This slide is badass. I did take it out to the range. I tested it on my SCT-19, and I did have some hiccups out of it. I did make sure to oil it up real good. As you can see, it did come nice and greased up from Marconi himself. But I did add some Aegis gun lube on there. This didn't work on my SCT just yet. Now, if you own a OEM 19 frame, this will run on it within the first mag, no problems. But since I am using an aftermarket frame, I did come across a little bit of issues, and that's why I went up to MGB and ordered a OEM slide parts kit. The one that Marconi did send out in this one is the, what was it? Strike Industries slide parts kit. So let's change out the parts, and what I'm gonna do is polish this stuff up, and hopefully it will run flawlessly. You can see this thing is dirty, and yes, I did oil it up. You could tell from all the gunk on it. See? I think I did shoot about, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 mags out of this thing. But the thing is, I was getting ready for the Guns Out Purge event. Of course, it is a competition, and I didn't want to change out my slide parts out of the firearm that I already knew that was going to work. And that is one thing that Marconi did advise me to do, was swap out with OEM parts first and see how that runs. And with the time frame that I was in, I just couldn't do that. That's why I'm gonna just swap out with OEM parts and see how it goes from there. Stay tuned, guys. So back to MGB's parts. This was super fast shipping. Now, I've had this with me for about 2-3 weeks now. Just goes to show you that I have had no personal time recently, especially with the holidays coming up. We're right on Thanksgiving week at the moment, and you know, holidays get hectic. Let's open that up. There you go, OEM parts. Now these will run, I'm not gonna need that. These will run flawlessly the way it is. But if you want the extra, if you want to get the most out of it, make sure to polish up your parts. It doesn't take very long. If you got a Dremel, get yourself some Mother's Mag aluminum polish. I like to start off with Flitz and finish off with the Mother's. In reality, this should only take about 15 minutes max. But, you know, with me doing the recording at the same time, it'll probably take me a little bit longer. That's why I'm going to pause this and get to it. All right, guys. So when it comes to the slide parts kits, these 3 parts are pretty much the only ones that you need to polish up. You could polish up the spring too, but I don't need to do that. I don't feel it's necessary. These are the main friction parts. So these are the ones that are gonna be encountering other metal to metal. So as you can see, it doesn't take a lot of Flitz. You just put a couple dabs on it and just spread it out. And you see, I like to wear gloves when I'm polishing up parts because it can get messy. That being said, let's start off. One of the main parts that I like to polish up is right here where the sear engages. You could also polish up the face right here, or just completely do the entire thing. It's up to you. Now this one, you don't really need to polish up, but I think I'm gonna do it just for the hell of it. The second main important part is the plunger. You wanna polish this up because that shark fin is gonna be engaging this. So the less friction there is, the smoother trigger you're gonna get. Let's start off. So it doesn't take much effort at all. And you don't really need to do this on a high speed either. Just start off slow. All right, so make sure to do the front now because that's where the sear engages. The next part I like to do is right here on the edges because that's where this channel goes in, and as you can see, the smoother that is, the better it's gonna run. But if you want things to run smoothly off the jump, get yourself some OEM parts. And as you can see already, look at the difference of just the OEM finish compared to the polished up area. I haven't even buffed this out yet. And screw it, you know, I'll just do the entire firing pin striker. Just because I know the spring goes over here, and again, smoother it is, the better. try to get this little channel inside here too. This is where you have engagement with your safety plunger. All right, and that's all you gotta do with the striker. Let's put that aside. That's round one. Let's reapply some more flits on here. It doesn't take too much. As you can see, I'm just putting on little dabs. Again, if you have a fresh felt pad, so you got a fresh one, then you might want to apply a little extra. But it does, again, polishing compound goes a long way. If you put too much, that stuff is gonna fly all over the place, make a big old mess. All right, that stuff is over with. Now let's get the safety plunger. This is where having these tiny little clamps, I got this from Wally World, but it doesn't really matter where you get it from. A lot of hardware stores or places that sell hardware, they have them. And it really helps hold these tiny parts in place while polishing or doing any other kind of work, really. See, it's shiny up front, and that's the original coating. All right. Now the tough part on these is this inner channel. And they do sell little pointy felt pads, smaller than this, like more narrower. I might actually have one, let me check. I do, perfect. Here you go, something small like this. And that actually does fit in there very well. And I'll switch over to that right now. All right, there you go. All polished up evenly. I like that. This right here to get all that excess flits off. And let's do it on here because now for the mothers. All right, guys. Let's clean this off too. We'll use the original to buff out everything. And what I was saying is these do fit these crevices way better, as you can see. It's like it was meant to be, man. This thing just fits perfectly. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. What I typically do is take a damp cloth and just wipe down the parts right afterwards. Not a wet cloth, but a damp one. Make sure if there's any residue left over, as you can see, there's some, it'll look black right here. And just try to wipe that off. Do your best. You see that? And you're gonna get some gunk in that little channel right there. Just wipe that off. That little channel can be one of the hardest areas to polish up. But do your best, guys. See that? And don't forget to clean that area off. And put your parts back on. I don't need that. So what I'll do is that. That's where one of these little blocks come in handy. This one fits right there. Be careful with this step. These little cups can go flying. Also, tip right here. See where that spring ends? Make sure where that spring ends, if I can get it to focus, right here. Make sure it's sitting on the cup like this. Not like that. That can cause issues. So make sure it's sitting like that. Here, let me take the gloves off at this point. I don't need them anymore. If you keep your gloves on, this part will be a lot harder than it should be. And there you go, guys. See that? How it's sitting? It's how you want it. Pop this back in place. Pop this spring back into place. There we go. Clicked in. Sometimes you just gotta play around and wiggle it and it'll work. All right, guys. So that's the polishing part. Unfortunately, I can't show the next step on video. That's why you want to go follow Freedom Crew University. But I'm going to swap out the parts in here, the ones that they came with, and I'm just going to put it in this bag. Keep everything together for another build or spare parts. It always helps to have spare parts in your range bag. I mean, if anything ever happens, you got parts to replace it with. It's helped me out in the past. It's helped some of my buddies out in the past. So, just a note. All right, guys, so I got all the OEM parts in this slide. Look how shiny they are. Looks good, right? You can tell right there. And hopefully, I can run this with no issues. I'll let you guys know on my next range trip. Here are the spare parts, and I'm gonna put these in a baggie. There's nothing wrong with aftermarket parts, but when you're running into issues, sometimes it helps just changing everything to OEM and then see if you still have the same issues, and then you could troubleshoot it a lot easier. That being said, guys, thanks for watching the video. I know it took a little bit longer. I might cut it out, but guys, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't, and it'll definitely help the channel if you share the video. Thanks again, guys. TTP out.